My full name is Linda Bell, with an E, Powell. The Bristol, Indiana Heritage Society, I think, is a very good organization to have in a town. It's very important what's gone on in our town, and that we remember the things and the people and the events that have happened in our town. So I think it's very, very good to have this Bristol, Indiana Heritage Society. There's a story I'd like to tell you about the Underground Railroad. While going through the history books of Bristol, I did find an interesting story about the house next door to my house. And that would be where the current town hall is right now. It was owned by Samuel Judson, that house was. And 175 years ago is when this incident happened. So take yourself back 175 years. Samuel Judson hears a disturbance down in his kitchen. So he goes downstairs and finds 3 Kentucky men dragging his black manservant off out the door and trying to get him out the door. Well, Judson ordered them to stop, and one of the Kentucky men had a six-shooter gun, and he pointed it at him and said, "I'll shoot you if you try to stop us." And so Judson went upstairs and put his pants on, grabbed a sword and a musket, and went back out to the front street on Vestula Street. And there the 3 Kentucky men were still there, and by that time they had Tom handcuffed to one of them. And Judson demanded that they release Tom, and they said, one of the Kentucky men said, I have a warrant. He claimed that he had a warrant that was issued by an Elkhart Justice of the Peace that allowed him to take Tom back into slavery. By now, all the neighbors in the neighborhood were up, and everybody was out in the street, and they had a big crowd out there. And so these Kentucky men were a little intimidated. And so they said, well, that they would wait. They said that they would wait until they could talk to a justice of the peace to make sure that their claim was good. And so the Bristol men were happy about that, and they took Tom over to Lewis Tillison's tavern and kept him there until the afternoon when a Washington Township Justice of the Peace could get there. The Justice of the Peace listened to both sides of the story and said that that the warrant was insufficient, and so they released Tom. However, the Elkhart County grand jury indicted these Kentucky men with disturbing the peace and breaking and entering a house. The Kentucky men left. There was going to be a trial later, but they left and they never did come back for the trial. So I guess Tom went back up into Michigan where he had come from. This story has been depicted on a state historic marker that is now in Memorial Park in Bristol. So I thought you might be a little interested in that. It was a very interesting story.